I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We're joined by Zenithan. Hi.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
All right. I'll go ahead and do my, as of recently, updated Twitch intro.
Okay.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, chooms and choombas, wherever it is you hail from. My name is ZenithanEX, Zen to my friends, hailing from Neo Johto in my little corner of cyberpace. And once again, I am your cyberpunk Pokemon trainer. Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for coming on. I do appreciate it. So you are a Pokemon person, eh?
Yes, that is definitely the big focus of it. Pokemon has been a big part of my life from the very beginning, since the time that my parents brought home the little rubber bouncy balls that have the Pokemon figures in them from a Mariners game.
Oh my gosh.
And I was hooked I was hooked ever since. I still have that thing. That Pikachu is forever encased in that rubber. I was not one of the kids that decided to cut them out.
Yes. I think Pikachu can be the Ichiro of Pokemon there now.
Oh, absolutely. I say given everything they've gone through, for sure.
That's right. So you were hooked early. I mean, did you?
Oh yes.
Have you gone through every game possible, or there are a few that have eluded you?
So as of this year, and it's something I'm rather proud of. Circumstances of last year, we can go into that later on. But as far as the Pokemon thing, as of this year, I have a legitimate, actual copy of every single mainline Pokemon game that there is. I have not played all of them. I played originally Gens 1 through 4.
Yeah.
I stepped away, unfortunately, due to some life circumstances and unfortunately unhealthy people that I was around. I kind of fell out of it at the time. So I missed Gens 5, 6, and 7 initially.
Yeah.
But then life changes being what they are. The pandemic hit and caused a lot of shift for all of us. It just came down to where I was in a situation where I was like, I can actually buy a console for the first time in a very long time. And went out, bought a Switch, got Breath of the Wild, because the very first video game I ever played was OG Legend of Zelda.
Yes.
On the gold cartridge on the NES.
Yes.
So I figured getting a Nintendo Switch was like bringing that full circle. And then eventually, like, you know what? I've the Sword and Shield was the newest Pokemon at the time. I was like, you know what? I want to kind of get back into this. Yeah. And I found my love for it again. I was very fortunate to get a copy of Pokemon White and White 2 from a friend at the time. Very cheap. Those games are not cheap now.
No.
To be able to go back and move some of my old ones up from old games way back and rekindle that, move them all the way up. And now it's all 1,025 Pokemon completed. I'm shiny hunting and going back and experiencing all these old games. I taught myself how to solder and repair batteries and rebirth a lot of my old cartridges.
Dang.
Saved what I could. Unfortunately, a lot of them were lost, but it's become a thing now where I will have a working file on every single game that I have. The DS games are easier to save, but the older cartridges with the batteries those are the gems. And I was very fortunate to have a lot of them from my childhood.
Man, that's going the extra mile there. You become a Pokemon doctor.
In a way, yeah. Like, especially with these new games, with the open world aspect to it, and obviously, people say, "Oh, they're good. Oh, they're bad." It's like, nah, it's fun. It's enjoyable. Like, there's a motto from Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal from the Elite Four member Karen. Oh, the nicest Karen you'll ever meet, I tell you that much. She has a quote where she says, "Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon. That is just the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled individuals will learn to win with their favorites." And that's something I've kind of taken with that, especially when it comes to the competitive aspect of it. Never going to win all the time.
No.
But trying to come up with new and fun ways to do it is, well, that's a part of the journey.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's one of the things that originally gave, I think, the Pokemon games the replayability is that you could go
Hmm.
through with a group, and then this next time you get a different group and go through and see if you can make
Yep.
it. There are so many different ways to play it now that people have come up with,
Oh yeah.
Nuzlocke and that sort of thing, or randomizers, which I'm
Yep.
just. Have you done a randomizer yet?
I have not done a randomizer. I have done a Nuzlocke. I was
Yeah,
doing that on Shining on a Brilliant Diamond.
yeah.
Failed. Gyarados is now the bane of my existence.
Oh no.
Shut me down. Shut me down. On my way to. Uh, I want to say on the way to my 5th badge,
Oh,
and I got hit. I got hit by a Gyarados, and it was cleaned me out. So,
oh,
as far as randomizers, and this is mainly a moral thing. I appreciate what emulators can do to preserve gaming history,
mm,
especially for those that like can't be like got anymore. But on my own standpoint, I try to keep a lot of what I do as like old school, as vintage as possible. I
yeah,
understand not everybody has the means to do that.
right.
But like I see all the mods and things people do for games, and I'm over here like, yeah, those can be fun, but it can also be a lot.
Yeah.
So like I'm one of those streamers or one of those YouTubers that you'll find that most of my stuff is
Oh,
as vanilla as it is for that like pure experience for the story
well, you
and just
just
for the
enjoy.
interaction.
Yeah, you just enjoy the game. That's all there is to it. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I've seen folks play it and just get frustrated beyond belief because
Hmm.
especially if at this point there are, I imagine, a few games that the back of your hand, and
Hmm.
if you opened up the first door and suddenly you're in the elite, or
Yep.
you go into a gym and you're in the caves. There's something to be said for being thrown a little too off
Oh yeah.
by that sort of thing.
Like it's entertaining, especially as one who took part during the Twitch Plays Pokemon,
Mm,
like lightning in a bottle moment.
y-
Like that whole experience
yeah,
was something else. It was beyond the community and everything. Like that was like the real first little nudge to get back into it. Like I
yeah,
just kind of watched it from afar and then began to interact with it.
yeah,
That and Dungeons and Dragons, but that's a
yeah.
whole other tangent.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Dungeons and Dragons is a part. You'll find, I think, more people have done something now, percentage wise, with Dungeons and Dragons
Oh yes.
than certainly back when I was in my 20s. But we had plenty then too. I mean, I did Dungeons and Dragons back when it was just one book. that was
The one archaic tome.
Yes, the one tome. We didn't have all these, flibbity gibbet multi-class things. I had a cleric. That's what I had. We can't.
Oh god, back to the days of Thaco.
Yes. Oh, absolutely,
Oof.
absolutely. And
Oof.
and I had the friend who always ended up being the dungeon master,
Mhm.
because we really enjoyed bullying him. Um, he had a Radio Shack Tandy computer.
Oh man, that's vintage.
It is, and believe me, it could do nothing. it was it. There was the only thing that came out of it was he made a character roller,
Hmm.
so we used that instead of rolling up the dice all the time. We just kept rolling, of course, until we got a good one. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I want psionics, that sort of thing. And might have taken
Dang.
us may have taken us 2 hours, but we
Hey.
got it. Um, but yeah, we that was that was a lot of fun back then. But that's the basis for so many people gaming.
Oh yes.
Even those who started in the arcades, eventually when they get their own home gaming system, you've got some sort of RPG going, and that's traced straight back to
Hmm.
D&D. So, are you involved in the collecting of Pokemon at all?
Oh boy. I wish there was a means to share in the section that you have because I have quite a lot. I'm still very fortunate to have my original sets of base
Ooh,
set jungle and fossil, like the original impetus of the Pokemon cards.
Oh yes.
While it is not a first edition, I still have OG Charizard. You know,
Oh
like the pinnacle card and everything.
yes.
Enjoyed that then. Obviously, like tried to get back in it recently. Did for a time, but then unfortunately, scalpers, and
Yeah.
that's wonderful advent.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I definitely collect it. I found the models
Mm.
actually, very nice quality models, just snap together a nice little meditative thing to do, are quite fun.
Yeah.
Just being unashamed to wear it and like be able to like wear the clothes and get recognized for it. Gengar
Mm.
is one of my absolute favorites, so I have quite a lot of Gengar stuff, and seeing people like smile or react to it, like I have a jersey style shirt that I wear that has Gengar and like ghost Pokemon on it, because I like a lot of types, but ghosts have always been fun because of the lore behind them.
Oh
So
yeah.
seeing it like, yo, where'd you get that? It's like, hey, you recognize it. It's fun interactions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to find. You know, if folks have been gaming for any particular time, sooner or later they've run across and played a little bit. Yeah, I haven't played a lot
Mhm.
myself, but I mean, I even played the first one on my son-in-law's very very old original Game Boy that I found.
There you go. Got
And
to play it on the brick.
yeah, it was. I was like, well, now I see why people like it, but I haven't gotten back to it. That was several years ago. Um, but yeah, the collecting part is just way out. It's sad that people have taken it that way, but
Mhm.
when you kind of make it a lottery rather than a game, it's it's um it's like that with sports card collecting.
Oh yeah.
I was into it in the '70s, into the early '80s, and I'm like, nowadays you're not trying to get your favorite player, you're trying to get the shiny thing and
Yeah.
the golden ticket.
And it's like, and that's always the rough part of it, especially with this now. Like they've obviously made ways to collect cards that aren't physical. Pokemon TCG Pocket is a fun little daily thing that you can do.
Yeah,
And I'm by no means sponsored. I would love that.
yeah.
But it's fun to kind of scratch that itch of opening a pack and seeing what you get.
Mm,
We're not, a lot of us aren't in it for the money. We're in it because we like the shiny cardboard. We like
yeah.
to see and have that collection, that binder to look back on and say, hey, I remember opening that pack and finding that card, that feeling of the feel of the chase, as a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of people will say it. We're not in
absolutely.
it to spin it and turn it around for an immediate money. Like, you know, gods know I could easily turn around with what I have if I absolutely needed to in
Oh
a
yeah,
desperate time for money.
yeah,
But I am
yeah,
very much glad to be in a fortunate place where I don't have to do that right
yeah.
now.
Well, unfortunately, I had to sell some of my sports cards back to like do things like
Mhm.
pay the bills. As I said, I wasn't making a
Oh
whole
yeah.
lot in radio at the time. But yeah, I've got plenty, and the wife's like, well, why don't you do that? No, leave it alone. Back off. You do your stuff. I'm doing my stuff. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, but as far as getting on and broadcasting as a content creator, was that something
Mhm.
you wanted to do early on, or how did you come into doing that?
So that was something that came about actually after a rather bad relationship, a
Hmm.
bad marriage with an individual that thankfully was eventually divorced. But I will spare sordid details of it. It was very abusive.
Hmm.
It was only until later years when I understood what the terms of gaslighting were,
Yeah.
and just people not being who they say they are, and basically came up with the idea of, if you feel like you need to be a different person, whatever that is, or feel that you're not being who you should be, absolutely pursue to be that person, as long as it's not hurting someone else,
Yeah.
as long as it doesn't come at the expense of someone else. But
Right. Right.
through that, like I discovered the likes of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, the Game Grumps,
Yeah.
early inspirations for that.
Yeah.
And it fascinated me. I had grown up doing like stage and theater in middle school, high school. Always enjoyed doing plays
Yeah.
and just entertaining, doing characters, doing voices.
Yeah.
And from there, I discovered Critical Role.
Oh.
And that's what really spearheaded it, because these were voice actors that I recognize. Liam O'Brien, who's done Illidan in World of Warcraft for a very long time. Warcraft line is a huge part of my life. It's how I met my best friend.
Uh-huh.
And now they know too much about me. I can never get rid of them. They're a liability.
But the old Bobby
my
Heenan,
best friend.
the old Bobby Heenan quote: "A friend in need is a pest."
Oh, yeah, they're not. No, I mean, I met them through that, and I was able to go through like my divorce and actually have support there, and
Yeah.
they're still with me to this day. So like seeing these voice actors that I knew through that. So like Laura Bailey, that's the voice of Jaina, but I also knew Laura Bailey and her husband Travis Willingham from Full Metal Alchemist, which was a fantastic anime and one of the earliest ones I remember watching.
Yeah.
And the likes of Sam Riegel, and then Matt Mercer, seeing his love for something and watching that grow. I took part in the community early on.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, I can do this. I've got time and everything. And so,
and by the way, you also have a good instrument. Yeah, I mean, let's face it, that's a solid voice you got there.
Thank you very much. I do a lot with it. If I'll shift in and out of accents, sometimes I'll do that. I can shift back and forth as necessary, and roll various different things. Previous employment that I did, I interacted with a lot of different cultures. And, a part of my stimming is I have echolalia. I will hear people talk, and I will immediately default to try to talk like them, to relate to them.
Yeah.
And I had an experience with a Slavic lady who came in and I was going through onboarding and teaching them everything, and I slipped into the accent, and I said, "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to." And she stopped and got very stern. She's like, "No, again, roll back of throat like this," and she coached me on it. So I thought that was a wonderful experience.
I'm envious that you can do that. I can't roll anything.
Well, it's and then I can go to various other different voices like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, and just Deckard Cain from Diablo is one of my other favorites.
Absolutely. Sit down for a while.
So, stay a while. And
stay a while. Yes.
So thank you. Voice acting is, again, another thing I'd love to eventually do.
Yeah.
So I took that and I kind of ran with it, but being the little green DM that I was at the time, this person that had come from such a socially starved and wanting to be seen and wanting to be, like, hey, see me, I can be this bright and shining person. Probably overextended my reach a bit. My first attempts at doing Dungeons and Dragons, as far as a stream thing, it was a thing called Natural Wonders. That's what I tried that. I was the DM. I took that myself, and I had 12 players at 6 a.m. on Sunday, because I had multiple people from various countries across different time zones. I had 3 people from the UK. I had one from Sweden. I had one from Czechoslovakia, and 2 from like Malaysia, just because they had like the forums up from Critical Role, and like all these people coming together, and you learn things.
Yeah. I applaud you for attempting to nail Jello to the wall.
I mean, it did work occasionally, but then I was still figuring stuff out about myself. I mean, we all kind of are. In life, no matter when we're doing it, but that it eventually kind of went its own way. I wasn't able to really do it. But a couple people that I had from there stuck around, and I eventually wrapped that back around into my longest attempts, called Way of the Dice, where I was doing a campaign called Out of the Abyss, which at the time, with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, it was considered the hardest to do in terms of just narration and choice and everything, and working through stuff, people coming, people going, cycling it out, finding out who wants you to be better and who wants to be right. And you come to find out, the people that you're with, like someone, they don't care that you got better. They just want to be right. So you being better, as in being healthier mentally, emotionally, means that they're wrong. And they would rather see you be what they perceive than to admit that they were wrong.
Oh, that's something that happens everywhere. Yes.
But Continued that. I kind of distanced myself from the Critical Role community. Something I come to find with there's fan bases and then there's fandoms.
Mm-hmm.
Fan bases are like a place where you can come together. It's a base, like the secret bases when like kind of have your fun interactions. And then there's fandoms.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a dumb. Because that's people that like expect something from the people that they follow, the weird parasocial stuff, and if you have a different opinion to them, then it's anathema, kind of thing. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna take a step back from that, and that's when I tried to do more of the variety streaming stuff, like sharing, like World of Warcraft. One of the earliest things I streamed was Heroes of the Storm. A lot of Blizzard games. Overwatch is one I still do. Just did that earlier.
Yeah.
And just kind of stepping through that. So like I went through various different names trying to figure myself out. I initially started as the Zen DM.
Okay.
And I still occasionally call that name. Like when we do our D&D stream on Mondays, I have a new one now. Good. I make sure to say, and on Mondays, I am your Zen DM to call back to that. But then I changed the name up and just kind of went with just Zen for a while and like, welcome to the Zenosphere. But it's like, I was still trying to figure that out. I was like, what is this Zen thing? Mm-hmm. It's a name I picked up from doing DJing stuff where I locally am, conventions, anime conventions, just really doing music because electronic music at the time just still kind of does. Trance music brought me to a state of calm and just enjoyment and energy. Yeah. So that name stuck and I've been called it for the better part of the past decade and decade and a half now.
Yeah. Music is wonderful at that. I mean, you find, and sometimes it's different every day. What gets you? That's the way with me anyway.
Absolutely.
I mean, I found a really good section of the internet that has really nice instrumental jazz from the late 50s and early 60s. And just whole albums on there. And I'm like, I'm just have it on play. Just whatever comes up next, is good for me.
No, absolutely with that. Like, especially like with the pandemic, a lot of us found a little channel on YouTube called Lo-Fi Girl back when they were called Chilled Cow. Lo-fi music filled something that I wasn't expecting as far as helping quiet the static in my head.
Yeah.
And like just have that on the background and like various different channels. Love seeing that grow.
Yeah. Was that something?
But then from there, like,
was that something you had problems with, growing up? Once you said you're on the spectrum some,
that is like, with what I went through and like the people I interacted with and figuring stuff out, like the crux of it came from, ironically, a TikTok. It was just one of those days where I'm going through and I see these little videos. I was like, oh, I kind of do that.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I do that. And I go, I do that. I do that.
Yeah.
And then I get to like the end of it and like 7-8 videos down. I'm just like, well, crap. I need to go talk to somebody because too many things started to make sense.
Yeah.
Too many things that were, because obviously like back in like the early 90s and everything, like going up like through that, obviously people would have, kids would have like attention things or whatnot.
Right.
But now with what we know, like being able to go through and thankfully the resources with my previous place of employment, I was able to go in and actually like figure stuff out.
Yeah.
And, basically figured out what I kind of already knew. Sometimes it's like you kind of know or you have that suspicion.
Right.
But it just kind of helps if like something solidifies that.
Right.
As far as like how everybody navigates it, everybody's unique. With that. But like with that then came down to like just kind of focusing on other things, bringing that back around, realizing all these shifts and different names and things like for the channel and like, who am I? What do I want to do with it? My most recent iteration was Cyber Viking TTV because I enjoyed cyberpunk culture and I enjoy mythology of all kinds, but very much love Norse mythology and everything. So I thought I can bridge that and be that whole thing. But unfortunately, last year was a very rough year. I unfortunately lost my father to cancer.
Yeah.
Last June.
Sorry.
So I had to take time off. I basically only like worked like half of last year because it was just so much that happened, and it just gave me a lot of time to think and look at perspective of things. What did I want to do? Because where I worked at was very good money wise, a lot of the choices and leadership and things were like, no, this isn't right. Like this is an integrity thing. I want to do my work well, but everything is getting in the way of that. And having that time away with handling my father's final affairs and being away from the machine, if you will.
Yeah.
Just gave me that moment to look, and like his last words to me were like, son, I want you to live.
Yeah.
And with what I was doing, it wasn't living.
Yeah. Well, getting away from it, it's an old phrase, but it's true. You start to see the forest from the trees, because
exactly,
this is not what I really want to do. And it changes up. Now, I haven't had that experience, because all I really wanted to do was radio. So I was lucky enough to have a long time in that. I'm not doing that now because I want to pay bills. So there's at least one bill to pay. It would be nice.
True enough.
But it's when you're going through something like that, and it's always, your mileage may vary for everybody.
Yeah.
And how close you are to the family and all that sort of thing. I can't say it doesn't get any easier as you get older.
Oh, no, it does not.
It doesn't. And I went through that myself just this year. and it's still not fully sunk in yet. It's
like I keep looking at my phone. I knew, like, I came back to work after my leave, like basically spent the whole summer like just kind of dealing with that, finalizing it. And I came back into the autumn to come back to work, but then like I got there and I was like, no, I'm not okay. I'm still not okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and take that time to work on my streaming stuff, work on my YouTube stuff, but then I just couldn't, because I was just so like just drained, gone.
Yeah.
And then like, the holidays hit, and then that's where everything kind of crashed in. Like there was no more Thanksgiving phone call, no Christmas phone call.
Right. Yeah.
The New Year kicked over, and then no call for my birthday.
Right.
And it's just like, and then unfortunately we had cancer strike a family pet.
Oh, geez.
My roommate's cat unfortunately got taken by that. So it's like I was just getting sucker punched left and right and left and right. Like, I got to change something.
And you get to the point where, at least, I'm talking a bit about myself anyway, but is that if you do something you enjoy at that point, you feel guilty because you're enjoying yourself.
Exactly. And that's like right now, like the place I work paid very well. Like it was very good, benefits, that whole thing. But I like the integrity aspect of it, the basically hypocrisy of it. I was just like, no. I am thankfully, and I make sure I say this every day, I say, thanks, Dad. He had things prepared for me that I was not expecting. And I'm very blessed, very lucky for that, especially with the way things are right now, to be able to have made that choice, a scary choice, to step away from a very steady day job and try to devote my time truly to this now. Yeah. Whereas before I would be so tired, and do I want to stream today, or how do I even go about videos? No, it's just easier to roll over and sleep.
Yeah.
All the loss and everything was just kind of like, I was tired of just being knocked around. And then, it just finally hit a point where it's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take this chance. I thankfully have the support of my best friend, who's also been inspired to get back into their music production stuff. They've actually made quite a few of the bit of the music that I play on my channel for intro and outro and everything. So
nice.
I can avoid that dang copyright hammer.
Yeah, it's tough to dodge. I had to deal with that in radio. I had to do all the ASCAP and EMI stuff. I was like, oh god, that's such a pain.
That's where the Zenith thing came around. One of my previous managers, I do hope that they are still succeeding very well. I enjoyed the people I worked with, which made what I had to do even worse. Because like you said, you get that guilty feeling of like, oh, you're doing something for yourself, but what about others? I was like, no, I have to. Yeah. They had actually, I had just gone by Zen because that was just what I'd always done.
Yeah.
My stage nickname for DJing was always ZenithanEX. Like the moral ethics of Zen, like what is the idea of it? And I just kind of went with it because it was sci-fi, it was punky and everything. But now there was a day where like I'm walking by and they just go, Zenithan, and I'd never been called that. I had never heard that ever. And I just kind of stopped in my tracks and looked at them. I was like, you have just given me a fully reasonable legal name I can change to now because of just who I am as a person. But like, it really hit like, what is Zen?
Yeah.
What am I? And so with Zenithan, and people would call me Zenith or Zenith, you know, Zenith is that pinnacle.
Yeah.
I am Zen, not because of Eastern philosophy, which I adore that, but I am by no means a patient man under any regard.
Yeah.
I can be, but it's like hyper-focused.
Yeah.
I am Zen because I have not yet reached my zenith. I have not reached the pinnacle of who I am as a person. I may never do that in this lifetime, but that gives me something. It actually gives me an aim and a goal, and working through everything every day now, like with what I'm able to do to try and get that traction. You know, every day I'm at least doing 4 hours. I have my off days on Thursdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
But then like Mondays, I've got the D&D campaign because then I can put that on YouTube and share a story with people. It's all in my homebrew world. Yeah. Something I have made myself, kingdoms, you know, democracies, everything.
Yep.
And then Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, just an assortment of stuff to see who just wants to hang out, you know, chat and enjoy a story.
Yeah. Well, see, there's a lot of folks I've talked to with VTubing over the years now, a couple of years of doing this. It's a chance for people to, as you said a lot better than I'm going to say it here, you've created your own world. You are showing people you as you want to be seen and recognized. You're
exactly.
Yeah. It's like I say, the difference between going from high school to college. Said in high school, everybody knows you. Everybody knows that in third grade, you bent over to pick up a pencil and your plant split. You know, in college,
never forget it.
You're still that same person, but nobody knows your background. So you get to start fresh. You set the parameters.
Yep.
And that's kind of what VTubers are able to do. So did you do any face cam streaming before VTubing, or was it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Like pretty much because when I started, I had no idea what the heck a VTuber was.
Yeah.
That was something very recent years. Because initially my perception of it was like, oh, that's expensive. The models for it's very expensive. All that stuff is difficult.
Yeah.
So I put myself out there, and, you know, it was a lot of body dysmorphia because I didn't feel confident about myself for a lot of it.
Yeah.
And still figuring myself out. But I put that out there because I could be on camera. I could portray characters, and a lot of it at that time was very misplaced in the aspect of, I want to be seen. I want my time in the sun.
Yeah.
I have been through all these bad things. I deserve this. And that's a terrible way to think about it. There was a terrible way to think about it. And I'm trying again to draw more inspiration from Markiplier and the Game Grumps. Like a lot of the times people will hear on my streams, they'll hear the cohabitant, as I call my best friend, the disembodied voice, because we'll do a lot of co-op games together, and then her voice will come through.
Yes.
And so we do that, but then like recently Markiplier released his movie Iron Lung,
right,
which I went and I saw that 2 times. I almost went and saw it a 3rd time because like I watched him play it, so I knew the lore of it, and then watching him adapt this and the little subtleties in the film from the first time to the second time he did pick up.
Yeah.
But it clicked with something. Watching someone put that effort in, something that I've watched grow, and that I'm surprisingly like a couple of years older than, which throws me for a loop. Because then it puts it in perspective. Instead of going, woe is me, it's like, well, I'm 38 and I haven't really done anything, so I'm never going to do anything. I was like, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what age you are. I like watched him do that. And after seeing all this loss and everything, I just finally said, no, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to make something with that. Even if I have to get another like a part-time job, if I need to, when it reaches it. Right now, I thankfully won't have to. And I'm hoping I can get some traction before, but it's putting that effort into it. Yeah. Getting those threads going. Yeah. I was very lucky to have a person that I love inspiring people as far as well. I want to inspire people, and I'm very seldom take my own advice or listen to the advice of my friends. They make sure they let me know it later. Yes. I admit it. But there was a person that I met through them they were starting to try and work with models and try to do V2 model making.
Right.
And they'd put out a post on Blue Sky, the counter to that other site that I will not mention.
Yes.
That said, like, hey, I'm looking to like make a model for someone. And it was like their first time starting out. I still have the model, and I do have it as a redemption on my channel, because I will cherish that from the impetus from it, because she basically worked with me, built this thing from the ground up, worked with me as far as my design, made this thing for me when it was at a time in my life where I was thankfully actually able to show my father it before he passed.
Yeah.
And show him what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
And actually bring that creativity out there. And that's when I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I got very fortunate to be able to have that, because, you know, I had interacted with them previously and they saw what I wanted to do to try to make this more, because it does come down to be a character. Like you said, it's that portrayal of what we want to share or how we want to do that. Plus, coming from stage acting, you're playing that role. And there's an interactivity with it to viewers where it's like, oh, they see another person on there. You know, it still works. People still have those interactions and things like that. But then with VTubers, there's a theme. There's like redeemables. Like, I have Pokeball items that are redeemable that you can throw at me. And boy, do people throw them at me. I am constantly concussed by the Pokeballs.
Yes. Yes. And at least they don't catch you every time. That's
Oh no, they never catch me. That hurts even worse.
I have to fight it off.
It's
every
that
time.
little thing there.
Yes.
That, like, with recently, like, I got, you know, with everything that was going on, I got smart about, like, you know, how to look at Etsy. And I always want to support artists and creators. And I was looking at Etsy for stuff, and I found customizable ready-made models, and it helps support them. I've got the credits to them on my Twitch, and I will never claim that it's mine. I will always try to make sure anything I use on there, from my overlays, my point redemptions, all that, credit to the people who made them. They deserve it.
Yeah.
With the most recent one, like, I knew what I wanted to do. Like, I still like Viking mythology.
Yeah.
But that puts me in a box, especially on the internet. Cyberpunk is something I enjoy because of where things are headed, unfortunately, in the real world.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games where I play that game top to bottom, and there are very few games I get emotional with. Prior to completing Cyberpunk 2077, the last game I completed top to bottom, everything, was Final Fantasy 16.
Whoa.
And that game had me in tears.
Ah.
It was beautifully written. I enjoyed the voice work. Ben Starr as Clive is a gem. That man is so kind and so hilarious. And again, another voice inspiration.
Yeah.
But then, like, playing Cyberpunk 2077, because that had a very rough launch. When it was pushed out when it wasn't ready. So its initial reaction was very glitchy, very buggy, almost unplayable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then to see it come back and now receive its flowers and everything, from the base game, the story, the acting, and then Phantom Liberty, which I honestly feel is better than the base game itself. The DLC for it is fabulous.
Yeah.
And just, like, there are times I'll just throw that game on. I'll just walk around Night City. I'll just literally walk as my character and just observe and watch.
Yeah.
Or, like, drive around and listen to it. So it's like, I can feel that vibe. Like, whether people interact on my stream or they come by for a little bit, I want them to have that kind of thing. So, like, you heard in, like, my intro, choom. Choom is a term of endearment from from Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Where he's like, hey, yo, what's up, my choom? Like, that's your buddy kind of thing. Or, like, little bits of language that I've worked into it. And it's like, no, I can, you know, make that relatable, because it's, like, more approachable.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, you.
I apologize. I'm going on and on.
No. This is. I'm not here to talk to. I'm here to find out about you. This is why I'm doing it. But it seems like you've created not just something that you enjoy doing, but you're comfortable with it.
And that was the hardest part. Is I was still figuring myself out. I was still figuring out, like, who am I?
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously my name Zen wasn't the name I was born with.
No.
But it's reached a point where that was who I was. The person that I was before Zen, in a way, has, you know, spiritually, emotionally passed on because of all the things that I went through, all the stuff that I grew up through,
Right.
and like sort of shed that. Like, I still have that name, obviously, for legal reasons. I haven't changed that over because, oh boy, that's a trial.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, like, with the stuff with my father passing and looking at how I interact with relationships and people and how I want things to go around and think just about myself as an individual, it made me think, which is a hard enough process on any given day, but
yeah, that thinking part makes my brain hot.
exactly. But like, that was probably the reason. Like, the biggest question that I asked is, why did I want to do this?
Mm.
Why did I want to do this? What was going to be my gain from it? I want to entertain.
Right.
I enjoy it. Like, it's like, I think the best example I can give it from my experience is I was very fortunate enough to see Ozzy Osbourne in 2007 at Ozfest.
Right.
And you see the way he is on like the show, the Osbournes are like, this guy who's kind of barely making it through, but like the moment he crosses the line out onto that stage, he's a completely different man.
Yeah. Yeah. He can actually, he functions. It's
Yep.
It's like, all the switches click on. It's, and afterwards maybe he might need some oxygen and other things, but for that,
well, unfortunately, he doesn't need that oxygen anymore.
No,
May he rest in power.
That is true. That is true. Although it's you've got a situation now where, and I talk about this a lot and probably too much, but I always see that people are not the product of their surroundings, but they're the triumph that emerges from those surroundings. And what you're
definitely
doing,
a lot of pressure.
What you're doing right now is right in line with that. What's happened to you in the past isn't you, but what you are now is what you've taken from that and molded it yourself. And you are that triumph.
I definitely still have a ways to go, but I am very grateful for what I have, for the fact that I have someone very close to me that will support me. And that's also another thing I came out as, like, people say like, oh, you have a best friend. Oh, that's your girlfriend. I was like, no, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
I will say I am as neutral as the thing is. That's probably something I kind of did with my character. I portray myself as an ace android.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's like, yeah, like that kind of stuff is great, but have you considered garlic bread? is the meme, is the kind of meme that goes from it. But it's like, no, I realize, like, I enjoy interacting with people on deeper levels than that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a cat dad. I love cats. I love animals, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People, it takes a lot to trust that. I unfortunately can mask quite a lot, especially when meeting new people. There's what's the term? The customer service face. If you will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get used to that. I think, like, with the VTubing, it's like, I don't have to put that face on. It's me, but without needing to, like, do the expression, because I can put all the emotion I need to in my voice.
Right.
And some of that, but I'm able to just be me in a more freed aspect, like you had said, like the version that I'd want to be, and keep growing that. Like,
you're more you than you would be able to normally be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why the VTube stuff had always fascinated me. Like, I've seen the likes of, when it comes to like VTubers, like Zentrea is one that inspired me. They don't use their voice. They do text to speech, but what they've been able to do with their character and stuff is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the likes of Iron Mouse. Iron Mouse's story is so inspirational. What she does is an immunocompromised, but she was able to connect with people from it and able to share her voice, which is beautiful from singing and everything with that. And then obviously you've got a whole bunch of others that can come out there. Like, I know, I guess I should say I know, but I don't really know. Like, maybe someday, but I know it's not going to be tomorrow. I don't know what day it'll happen. Like, I want to keep trying at it, and I finally have that drive. So I think
do it as long as you're enjoying yourself and you get that feeling of accomplishment, and you've got that feeling of what's the right word? You feel not legitimize is not the right word, but it is you feel right.
Say satisfied.
Satisfied is close, but
Yeah.
you're justified. There you go. Is one word, and you feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm enjoying myself. I want to keep doing this. That is the main thing above all, and you found that out with your job, didn't you?
Yeah, because like what I did, like I started from the boots from the ground up. I went to it in the middle of the pandemic because I didn't really have any other choice. The other place I was working at the time did not care about our health. I caught COVID there 3 times.
Oy.
I say 3 because the first time I caught it, it didn't have the name yet.
Yeah.
But then the second time it happened, I went and got the test and it had the name. I was like, oh no, I felt this before. And then, for 2 weeks, I'm laying on the freaking futon couch, chilling with my roomie.
And the third time
watching,
the third time you had a whole new name for it, and it wasn't very nice.
No, it was not. Like I liken the description to where it felt like at one point my lungs were Play-Doh and they were being pulled out my back through my rib cage, like just being squeezed. And when you're on cough medicine and you're going through that, and we were watching Stargate SG-1 on Netflix.
Yeah.
And oh man, that show's already great, but it's a whole other thing when you're blitzed out on cold meth. I don't recommend it, but it's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's you got a whole. You talk about your Zen. You've got a whole new Zen when that happens.
Oh boy! Like I went to the job. I started boots from the ground up and working in a warehouse, and it was the first place at the time I felt like I could actually proceed. I could progress. And I did. I became like a like an assistant floor manager kind of thing, helping teach people. I worked night shift for the first time for a year, which that was a whole experience, but I would say a worthwhile experience. And then finally got to go be a part of our onboarding team and our training team to teach people and welcome people. Cause sometimes like the first person you meet sets the tone.
Right.
And for a long time, I took pride in that. But then it came down to recent stuff. I was like, I'm not going to stand in that room and lie to these people.
Yeah.
I'm all for a good story, but I always try to pride myself on I tell stories, not lies.
Right.
Stories at least have a merit. They have a moral and a lesson.
Yeah.
Lies just hurt. I wasn't going to do that. So like, nope, moral grounds. I'm just going to take this chance. And well, here I am.
Lies are brutish and stories have grandeur. There's a big difference. A lie is just like, I didn't steal your money. That's a lie, but the story says, well, something might, you set an entire world with a story.
Exactly.
I mean, you still stole the money in the end, but it's at least people are a little more entertained by it. So, what are your at this point? You've been doing it for a while now. What are your goals? Do you have a big goal set up besides being a full time and having a career out of it? Is there something you personally want to do with this right now?
So I would say, especially with the insight that I have now of like watching and learning and getting a better idea of how metadata works, hashtags, making sure like proper sharing and correspondence, because unfortunately the attention span of the internet is in like bite-sized chunks these days with shorts and reels and everything.
Right.
I would say an initial goal is to, and again, not sponsored by them, but would love to eventually, get a content code for gamer subs, which is an energy brand drink that actually helped me kick energy drinks altogether.
Yeah.
I only do this. And I found that out from another YouTuber that I was very inspired by called Russian Badger. Very funny.
Yeah.
Very entertaining man. I would love to be able to have that, just like have that stamp. But I know to do that, I need to build up my YouTube, build up my story as far as that. Like, can I actually share some of these older things? So like, I want to do more vintage games, vintage stories, like go through and share a lot of games that people have grown and enjoyed, but may not see other people play. Like, I know the way the algorithm works is you always want to do like the newest thing. Like right now, Pokopia is huge for Pokemon. It's catapulted Switch 2 sales like nobody's business. Rightfully so. It is a wonderful time sync and the story and the building. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Opposite that, you have Resident Evil Requiem. Huge. Everybody jumps on that. But like, I'm over here like, okay, not every game I can do right away.
Right.
There's a lot of lost lore or just like entertainment that can be done with it, or a shared experience, I would say. Like going back to vintage games, like one of my favorites is a game called Skies of Arcadia, which originally came out for the Dreamcast, but then got re-released on the GameCube. And I have that. I have the original one. I have my memory card, and I have a Wii I can play it on. And I don't know that I've ever seen anybody play that.
No.
There's a lot of other stories. Like, I guess I would say the goal is like, outside of hopefully eventually getting a sponsorship or getting a little a creator code.
Right.
So for that, the other goal would be and I have my roommate, my best friend, to thank for this again with the recent return of a little known K-pop group you might have heard of called BTS. They're kind of small. I don't know if you've heard about them.
I think they'll be okay.
But like, I enjoy Japanese culture. I really enjoy Korean culture now. Like, I've always enjoyed just where other people come from. Seeing how they have inspired her, and now hearing that music, it's that community connection, I think, that earnest bond that I know we as people can have if we look more at what we share than what divides. So if I wanted to be ambitious, I would say I would love to try and be a BTS of, B2B, I guess. I don't know. That's way high. That's way high, and people can absolutely rip me apart for that. I know that, but like, it's the best way I can describe it.
If they rip you apart through it, they're gonna have to go through me first, because I think you're. I think that everything you're doing here is wonderful. I mean, it's obviously coming from the heart. It's something that you're really wanting to do. You're enjoying yourself. You're entertaining people, which is something that you wanted. This is all a giant plus for you. And the fact that you pulled yourself up with your bootstraps to do this, you did get some fortuitous folks in your corner, but I think you would have done it anyway. And I think that I wouldn't put anything past you at this point. There's still a lot. There's still a lot in your future, young grasshopper. and I think folks need to check out what you're all about. We're going to have all the links I could find for you in the description for this interview. And I got to tell you, Zenithan, I'm glad you got this going on. I'm highly impressed by you in this talk.
Thank you, sir.
And I think you got a lot more good stuff to share with people in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I want to be humble. I want to be proud of what I do, but I want to make sure I'm humble about it, because I know the person I used to be was not the best.
Yeah.
There are definitely a lot of reasons why, like, people that came and went, it wasn't just all on them.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of the person that I was very disagreeable.
Yeah.
And I have no shame in admitting that.
Yeah.
I still try to catch myself these days too. And I just hope that anybody that comes in now, or maybe comes back around, can see that it is just being, trying to do it the right way. I would say the right way, the best way possible. I want people to enjoy it. I want them to feel that they can share what they're excited about with us too, because too many times what people like and want to share can get shut down. And I want them to be able to be happy, I guess.
Well, I think you're doing that, and I think you're going to keep. I thank you so much for coming on, and I hope that we can talk again in the future, because again, I'm really impressed with what you're doing, and I just want you to keep shining. If you could do that for me.
Again, thank you very much for the opportunity, and hey, anytime, I'm absolutely open for that.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.